Keeping your estate filings private isn't only for celebrities. For many people, they don't want their personal finances to be put into the public record after they pass away, but they're not really sure how to do it or what to do next. So in the world of celebrity estates, we've seen a variety of them over the years where celebrities have passed away without a will, and a lot of us are left scratching our head saying, you had so much money, such an intricate business setup, how did you forget to do an estate plan? Here in Minnesota, we have Prince, which led to years of fighting, including the IRS being involved, trying to make sure they're getting their tax money. Aretha Franklin in Michigan also passed away without a will, and we had some questions about whether or not there had been some handwritten wills and whether they were valid. Historically, Pablo Picasso with an amazingly large estate and very large attorney's fees, because after he passed away without a will, I think there was almost $30 million of attorney's fees that were spent just trying to figure out what to do with his estate and his artwork. And more recently, we have Tupac Shakur and his family fighting over his legacy and what kind of albums can be released after he passed away and what his legacy looks like. So more recently, on March 5th, Pamela Bach passed away, who was David Hasselhoff's ex-wife. Now, she apparently died without a will. She died on March 5th, and her eldest daughter, Taylor, has now filed to be the executor of the estate in California. Now, this shows us the importance of having some privacy to our estate, because as part of that filing, Taylor had to disclose that her mother's assets were approximately $840,000. TMZ has reported, however, that there are believed to be some private trusts, in which case there may be more assets that Ms. Bach had at the time of her death, but they're not going to be public. So when we have a situation like this where someone passes away without a will, our first question has to be looking for, is there a will? Is there a trust? What kind of estate plan documents were in place? So if somebody dies without a will, that legal term is called intestate. And so that means that without a will, somebody has to petition your local probate court to be appointed the executor. In this case, it's Miss Bach's eldest daughter, Taylor. But if you take a look at it, you can see where this can cause some family fighting, because what if you have 2 or 3 children and they all want to be appointed the executor? If you had a will, you could have chosen which one you think would be the best to manage your finances. However, after you're gone, if we don't have a will, then it's up to the court, and you could have multiple children filing to become the executor, and that can lead to a long, lengthy, drawn-out legal fight, including lots of attorney's fees. Now, the other thing to keep note of is that these filings are also public. So at some point, Taylor or someone else in the family may request that the filings become private. A few years ago, when we had Lisa Marie Presley passing away, that was part of the fight, was whether or not the filings would stay public. And I understand they reached a settlement to keep much of that out of the public record. However, the default in a probate case is that the filings will be public. So if you pass away without a will, your finances will be available to the public. The creditors can see it. And frankly, if your neighbors even know how to get through the public filing systems on your probate court, they can easily pull up and see what your financial assets look like at the time of your death, what kinds of liabilities you had. And that kind of information is not something that most people are comfortable having out there in public, especially not these days with electronic filing, where it can be very easily accessible. So what Ms. Bach may have done, and it sounds like TMZ is believing they're going to have trusts. So when we have assets put into a trust, those assets do not go into the probate filing specifically. We may have to disclose the presence of a trust, but we don't have to disclose the terms of that trust, so that you can have assets managed privately. They would stay out of public view. So for people who are not celebrities, let's say you put your house into the trust. When you pass away, the value of your house is not going to show up in your public filings. If you put your bank accounts into the trust, same thing, they would not be in the filings. Now, it seems interesting that somebody would have created trusts but not a will. Normally, when we are preparing estate planning documents, specifically a trust, we have a will that goes with it, and that will is what we call a pour-over will. And the pour-over will will say whatever assets I have in my name at the time of my death that I did not put into the trust, I now want them transferred to the trust by virtue of the will. So it's interesting to note that she may have had trust but not had created a will. Hopefully you can see when we have an estate of somebody, whether they're famous or not, we want to make sure we have estate plan documents in place so we can keep things private, but also we want to make sure we're choosing the right executive for our estate plan. And if you have children under 18, that will becomes extremely important, because we want to make sure the will is choosing who would be the guardian for our children under 18, and also who would be the trustee who could manage the money for them. as we look at Ms. Bach's estate, hopefully we're not going to see a lot of public filings and a lot of family fights in the news. However, that could be possible unless the files are sealed. So you don't have to be a celebrity to understand that by some simple estate planning, we can keep all of this information out of the public probate court records. We can keep your family affairs private, and there can be a lot of reasons why you would want to keep your family affairs private. If you like this video and you want some more information, you can go to my website, andrewmayers.com. There's a red legal strategy session button on the front page. If you click that, you'll be taken to my scheduling page. We can set up a free 15 or 20-minute phone call to discuss your estate plan and where you are in the process. If you like this video, you can hit the like or thumbs up button below. You can head on over to ayerslawtv.com or YouTube to subscribe for future episodes. And hopefully you can see that you don't have to be a celebrity to want to keep your estate filings private.